Hello everyone, it is Conan once again, and I have actually managed to edit another video semi-recently after posting one. What year is it? It's 2020, fools. For this video, I actually took down some notes of what I want to talk about because the first one was kind of supposed to be just an update of like what's going on and what my plans are. But for this one, I would like to actually talk about something specific because that always makes for a better voiceover, in my honest opinion. So, my topic for this episode is actually the story of the comic. Well, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I just want to talk about like how I came up with it and how I go about planning it. Spoiler alert, I don't. I just do whatever the fuck I want. Sorry. Just yeah, talk about the story in general. I also wanted to make an episode about my art style and how I chose a style for this and how I go about actually making these pages. But it still keeps changing, especially as you might be able to see from the beginning. The first couple of pages are very environment focused, and as we get more into the meat of the story, the pages will actually become way more character focused, which just changes my workflow a bit. So I maybe will talk about that in the next episode or the one after that. I also want to make one where I just talk about the characters and how I designed them and well, etc. But for now, let's get into how I came up with the story. So, of course, it's a very, very short comic, so I did not have that much room for like a very expansive storyline. I literally have 31 squares, so I had to fit it into that. And I was originally planning to do something along the lines of what I did last year. If any of you have seen that, if not, you just scroll down on my Instagram. Last year, I wrote this short story slash. It had very like gothic vibes about a house that's alive, because I actually am really, really fond of the horror concept of just living places or houses that are haunted, but not by something, just by themselves. So you might be able to see some aspects of that in the horror elements I will talk about using for this story. But yeah, I actually decided to kind of do a prequel-ish story for some of the characters in the webcomic I am working on revamping, which, by the way, it's out there somewhere. I will not link it because I'm not proud of it anymore, which is the reason I'm redoing it. I will also do an episode where I just talk about the comic woes and the problems I'm having with that. But anyways, I should stop promoting future videos and actually talk about the topic. So, story. Well, it's a semi-prequel, and in the story there exists this... It's not actually very defined if it's just a different planet or more akin to alternate universe. And well, it goes by the name Nil, and long story short, they had a bunch of climate problems. Fucking suspicious. Who has climate problems? Not us, definitely not. And basically their sons, because they have two sons, because I am very creative and don't fall into sci-fi tropes at all, are hidden almost constantly behind a very, very thick layer of clouds, which leaves the planet in a constant state of dusk or dawn or night. So it's very dark, and they basically have this very good power source they just kind of extract from the air. So it's implied that it's something that's just floating around everywhere. And they have these big ass buildings with some fancy machinery to extract this. And they use that because it is actually 100% eco-friendly. It doesn't leave any residue they know about, and they've been using it for a while. And there's been some funny shit happening in society, but no one has been actually able to link it to this new source of power, so they just keep on trucking with it. What can I say? People need energy, because they actually keep their cities well lit. Anyways, so the story actually takes place in one of those places that extracts the air juices, TM, and the kind of setup, without talking about actually the story too much, is just the city government, TM, has lost contact to one of these places and they haven't heard from them in a while. So they send this group of 4 like mercenaries there to check it out, just find out why it's shut down and there's no one talking to them, because they also didn't receive any distress signals. It just, at some point, they stopped receiving power, and when they tried calling to be like, hey, what's up, where's my electricity, there was just no one answering. So we have this cast of 4 characters, and they all have their own issues, especially Sha, which I'm drawing right now. As you can see, Sha has really thick eye bags because Sha has not slept in a week at least. No, okay, I will stop roasting Sha. This is just Sha is definitely one of my favorite characters, and Sha is also the one you're seeing on screen right now with the cool undercut, and also a character that will very heavily feature in my webcomic. If there's a weird cut in the audio, it's because I can't speak, so please just ignore that. And yeah, so basically concept is, they go there and they find out what happens. I will not tell you what happens, because not even on my Instagram or Twitter there have really been any spooky happenings yet. But on the page I'm actually drawing today, the day I'm recording this voiceover, which is I think day 12, yes, day 12, I will actually get to draw some kinda uncanny stuff, and I'm very excited. So yeah, for the horror, I wanted to go less in the classic direction of just slasher or something, which also have their merits and I also think are very cool, but I'm more like just environmental horror. So something being in the environment that causes problems for the characters and they have to deal with it in some way. I think I'm more fond of psychological horror as opposed to monster horror, for example, which like I do enjoy designing some disgusting creatures, but that's not what we're talking about right now. So this also, I think, will hopefully end up having a similar mood to what I usually draw if I want to be slightly ominous or spooky. So I'm not planning to have any like per se scares. I'm more just hopeful that it will be possible for me to create a very unsettling atmosphere, especially also through the characters' reactions. So I'm also, it's more of a personal horror rather than just a general horror. So over the course of the story, each character will be affected by what they find in a different way, and they also will find different ways to cope with the situation or not cope with the situation. We'll see. So lastly, what I actually wanted to talk about is how did I even come up with this? I did have the idea before, because I, of course, am world building for my webcomic relaunch. And so, of course, I had to think about backstory of the characters and such. But I originally planned this short story, adventure, whatever, to be played out as like a tabletop RPG campaign, but that never happened for various reasons. So I just decided to draw it out. So if there might be some like gamey elements to it, not that I think that's a bad thing, but it might have some of these vibes, which actually I do kind of enjoy because as I mentioned literally every time I have the chance to, I am studying game art and I'm very interested in making video games. So this is, of course, game design in general is a very important part, and I always want my stories to also kind of include a part of me. So if you notice any gamey aspects, this is why. So yeah, I hope this was kind of informative and I didn't just talk gibberish. And I hope you enjoyed the video and seeing my process. If you have any more questions about my process or about the comic, or want just more info or have topic suggestions, you can leave them down below. Subscribe if you want to, if you like my content, like my ramblings. And I don't know, stay safe in these weird ass times. And hopefully, I will see you on my next video, where we might just see some of the characters close up. Hell yeah. So yeah, bye for now.